The most important book in your entire life is the notebook you choose to write yourself. And it's the notebook where you're finally honest with yourself. Fucking no. Sorry, I don't know why I made that my intro. I think I've been watching way too many Ty Lopez ads and it's just seeped into my fucking mind. Today I'm gonna be talking / making a notebook. And to answer your question, no, this is probably not gonna change your life. However, it has impacted mine. I've been making a notebook for about 2 years now and I've used it to varying degrees and it's actually proven to be a fairly useful tool for myself. I don't use it as a journal, I don't use it as a diary. I use it simply to write down my ideas, create game plans for specific days. Generally, it's just useful to be able to write something down and have paper on you. So there's 2 reasons why I write down my ideas and why I keep them in a physical notebook. So the first one is that as soon as you write down an idea, it becomes permanent. That's actually a really interesting thing. Because if you're just trying to remember your ideas, they're gonna become faded, they're gonna become diluted. And it's really hard to get back into the same mind space that you were in when you were actually thinking of the idea. However, when you actually go and write down your idea, whether it's on your phone, whether it's in a notebook, it's easier for you to tap into how you were thinking at the time. And then it's easier for you to actually build off that idea and the fact that it's actually permanent. So if you do in fact forget that you actually had this idea and you go back and start looking through your past entries or your past pages of notes, then you can actually go back and revisit some ideas and then you can actually pick up a pattern in how you're thinking. And oftentimes this pattern will show a larger truth about where you're thinking. For instance, a lot of my ideas revolved around sharing stories, making videos, and that's really why I started making YouTube videos, is because I saw that pattern of where I'm thinking of what I want to do. I'm not saying the only reason why I'm making videos is because I'm writing down in a notebook. However, I would say that it's a contributing factor and it would have taken me a little bit longer for me to realize it. Now, the second thing is, why write down in a notebook rather than just type it up on your phone? Well, for me, it has to do with value. When I go to write in my phone, it's a lot less of a thoughtful process. I can rewrite, reword everything that I'm doing. And that's actually partially why I choose to make my own notebooks rather than just purchase them. When I actually make something, there's a lot of energy that goes into it. So I care about it a lot more than if I just purchased it. And even though it's probably only worth a couple of dollars, because I actually created it, because I put the energy into it, I have a connection to it and I value it a lot greater than it actually is. I guess I'm a sentimental sap. Because I'm placing this value into this notebook that I'm carrying around, I'm also placing value into its pages. Every single time I fill up a page, the idea has to be honed. It has to be a complete idea worthy of being there permanently. I can't simply just delete the file. The page is always there and it's always going to be there to remember as I go and look back on some of my ideas trying to develop this pattern. So creating a notebook has become almost as important to me as writing in the notebook itself. I've actually made a couple of rules for myself because I like the idea of having generations of notebooks and having them evolve and get honed and become a better and better product as time goes on. So I've actually set up some rules so it turns a little bit into a game. The first rule, I only can change the design of my notebook when I finish one of the notepads. Most of my soaps are designed so that it actually will last for multiple generations of notebooks. So by making this rule, I made it much more of an achievement when I actually finish one of the notebooks. The second rule is that I can't purchase materials specifically for my notebook. Now this one's more of just a fun thing that came out of what naturally happened. I'm not the most well-off person, so I actually like to reuse my material as much as humanly possible. So I would just use whatever I could find around the house, which in itself became its own fun exercise. So I started doing that and it really became an enjoyable thing. So I made it into a rule that I can only use found items to work on my notebook. The third rule is that I can't make a new notebook unless I've filled it out or lost the previous notebook. Unfortunately, this has happened a couple of times. That's the rules of my notebook, why I choose to write in a notebook. But before we start building, I'm gonna do this now rather than the end of the video. I have a second channel called The Second End, and this is more of an adventure vlog kind of thing. Feel free to check it out. There's links down below. Also down below is my Instagram account. I'm actually trying to improve as an artist, so I've been uploading one picture, one drawing per day, and trying to improve over time. Check that out down below as well. I also have a Twitter. I haven't been using it too much, but I'm looking to expand that as well. Hopefully not too many of you guys left because the video is coming right about now. Like, comment, subscribe, and enjoy the rest of the video.